Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo 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 Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna. We'll continue reading from the 5th canto, 18th chapter, text number 9. Canto 5, chapter 18, text number 9. We read some of the purport 3 days ago. Did you read out the book scores this morning?
Yes,
This title of the chapter is the Resonance of Jambudweep of the Prayers. And this particular section is Prahlad Maharaj offering his prayers for the great devotees in different varshas, different planets of the universe. They are approaching the Lord and offering prayers according to their relationship with the Lord. And Prahlad Maharaj, of course, was Lord Nrsimhadev. So we chanted the verse here today, and within a short time we won't chant it through again today. Maybe we'll chant it once or twice together, but not after. And we'll finish the purport's quite long. We'll finish the purport today and take it from there.
Yeah, someone can take the table and
Not very valid, much use when you're sitting on the asana, so low you can't reach. You need a new bookshelf for the books. It's too low. Yes, can't even see it. So this is text number 9. So all together we can repeat. Svastyastu Vishvasya. No, I mean, sorry, asking then you can. Svastyastu Vishvasya Kalakpasyas Prasidatam.
Svastyastu Vishvasya Prasidatam.
Jayantu Bhutani Shivam Mitodiya.
Jayantu Bhutani Shivam Mitodiya.
Manascha Bhadram Bhajatada
Manascha Bhadram Bhajatada Dokshaje.
Aveshatam no Matirapya Hoituki.
Aveshatam no Matirapya Hoituki.
Svastyastu Vishvasya Kalakpasyadatam.
Svastyastu Vishvasya Kalakpasyadatam.
Jayantu Bhutani Shivam Mitodiya.
Jayantu Bhutani Shivam Mitodiya.
Manastabadam Sabhajatada Dhakshaje.
Manasabhadram Bhajatada Dokshaje.
Aveshatam no Mati Apya Hoituki.
Aveshatam no Mati Apya Hoituki.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada and purport. May there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all envious persons be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing bhakti yoga, for by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Personality of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Sri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thought of Him. I've forgotten your name for this.
Shibidas.
Shibi?
Shibidas.
Shibi?
Shibidas.
Shibi. Wow.
Shibidas.
You must be very charitable. You have a name like Shibi. King Shibi, one of the most famous personalities for being selfless in his charity, willing to give up his own body for the sake of his Dharma. Are you staying here in Paris?
In Georgia, Tbilisi.
Where?
Georgia, Tbilisi.
Georgia? Oh, you come from Georgia. Yes. You know my friend Janananda Swami.
Yes, Janananda Swami. Just from Georgia.
Yeah, he's
In
there now.
Tbilisi, Janananda Swami.
Yeah, he's there now.
My home.
Yeah. Wonderful. How long you stay? How long you will stay here? How
First
many
of December,
days?
Maharaj.
Huh?
1st of December.
Just another 2 days. And then heading back to Georgia or something?
And he came here for his medical documents.
Okay.
He doesn't understand much English.
No. He understands Hare Krishna. You speak Russian?
Russian I speak, yes.
So, Basmati, communicate with him. So we were reading the purport the other day. I think we got down to only a couple of paragraphs, really. It may have been 3, but I'll just read the 3rd paragraph again, which starts with Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given us a very nice purport in this regard. Whenever one offers a prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one always requests some benediction from him. Even pure Nishkama, pure devotees, pray for some benediction. As instructed by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Sri Shastras. Ainanda tanujakinkaram atitam mang vishame bhavam buddho Vayatavapada pankaja sthiti sadrisham vichintaya. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or another I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. In another prayer, Lord Chaitanya says, Mamma janmani janmani shure bhavatad bhaktirapvaitaki tvayi. Life after life, kindly let me have unalloyed love and devotion at your Lordship's lotus feet. When Prahlad Maharaj chants Om Namo Bhagavate Narasingaya, that was the previous verse, he prays for benediction from the Lord. But because he is also an exalted Vaishnava, he wants nothing for his personal sense gratification. The first desire expressed in his prayer in Swastyastu Vishwasya, in the previous prayer beginning with Om Namo Bhagavate Narasingha, he's praying for his removal of all anarthas from his heart. As long as we have anarthas, our vision, our relationship with Krishna is obfuscated. It's covered up. It's covered over. It's not clear. So once the anarthas are removed, then things become clear. Maybe not entirely at once, but they become cleared. And the fan is no longer moving, so it will stop in due course of time. So he's praying for that removal of all these coverings of his heart. There's only one who is actually nishkama. He's nishkama. He has no material coverings as such, no material motivation in his devotion. So one who has purified the heart, and the heart is purified, one naturally sees things in relationship with Krishna and sees every living entity in relationship with Krishna. As long as we're covered, we still discriminate between good and bad, friends and enemies, and so on and so forth. We can have different feelings towards different persons, what have you. But a pure devotee of the Lord sees everyone as part and parcel of the Lord. They see them in relation with Krishna. They act according to their situation, you could say as well, in terms of their with that person. But they always act for that person's welfare. It's not a question of rejection. Their apparent rejection is also for that person's welfare. Their apparent anger is for that person's welfare. And apparent affection is also for that person's welfare. Whatever it is, they're only thinking of, because they're part and parcel of the Lord. When Rasaprayan Prabhu cut his finger pretty bad a few days ago, we were trying to patch it up a little bit. We'll get Janananda to patch it up a little bit yesterday. And we were saying how amazing it is, this tiny little finger. Right. Tiny little finger is a small part, it's not even a whole finger, just the tip of the finger. It's just a tiny part of the body, but we pay so much attention to it. It's part of our body. So when one sees that every living entity is a part and parcel of Krishna, the pure devotee, he goes through a countless living entity, he's not going to go one by one. But his vanchakalpatrupyascha, his mood is to, for everyone. He's not discriminating as such, or he appears to be playing the role of Madhyam Bhakta, he may appear. But his actual heart is not like that. He wishes the welfare for every single, even his enemy, even somebody who hates you. He only thinks of their welfare. We may not have the same feelings. Maybe a little bit, but not quite the same way. No matter what they do. We see the example of Jesus Christ in a relative way that people can relate to at least. Please forgive them, because they know not what they're doing. He's not asking necessarily for their deliverance, but it's something people can relate with. He could have asked, but they're not ready yet. But at least forgive them for their sins. They don't know what they're doing, even though they're trying to kill him, so to speak. So a Vaishnava never takes offense. Sometimes the boys, please forgive me, Prabhu. The Vaishnava doesn't see anything to forgive in the first place. There is no offense. There's no such, doesn't exist. Like a baby. Those mothers who've had babies, and I don't think anyone here is a mother who's had babies. If anyone here has had babies. But the baby will definitely, apparently, poo in its pants. Maybe poo on the mother, and maybe hit daddy, bite his mother. The mother doesn't hit back, Baby bites the mother's finger or something. But the mother doesn't complain, does she? If someone else came along and bit your finger, you'd probably react. You might try to bite them as well, or punch them or something. Mode of nature which you're influenced by, but you definitely react. The mother accepts it in a loving way. This is her child. So pure devotee sees everyone as the child of the Lord. They've just kind of like, disconnected themselves. And the devotee wants to, he sees them in their real position. Srup necessarily, but the srup in terms of being an eternal servant of the Lord. And unfortunately they disconnect themselves from us. They're always thinking how to connect others to Krishna. To reconnect. Part and parcel of Krishna, we're meant to be bringing pleasure to Krishna, not trying to enjoy separately. The body feels sad to see that Krishna's parts and parcels are disconnected. Not just a question of delivering, just sad overall. For Krishna's point of view too, that his part and parcels are not bringing him pleasure. We'll read the rest of the purport. Prahlad Maharaj thus requested the Lord to be merciful to everyone, including his father, a most envious person. And so there's an example. I mean, his father was perpetually trying to control his son and eventually try to kill him. Didn't care less, you know. Doesn't tolerate anyone who has a different opinion the way I see it. We have an element of that in our own consciousness. We'll argue over details of how we see things in this world. I mean, on a great scale, wars and so on. But even on a person-to-person level, we'll argue, you know, no, it's like this. No, it's like that. We'll argue with each other. Sometimes become inimical towards each other. Even in family life. In family life, this is extremely common. Husband and wife. Men and women, by nature, have a different perspective. Not just because they're different people. They have female nature and male nature sees things slightly differently. That's the way it is. There's bound to be a different perspective. And if you start arguing over that, there's no way that can be solved. If I try to convince you that this jumper is, you know, blue, I'm seeing it blue, and you're seeing it, whatever you're seeing it. No, what is it, orange or something? Orangey color?
Red.
Reddy orange, something like that? No, it's blue. I'm seeing it's blue. Who's right? Nonsense. It's not red, it's blue. And they fight over each other. And that's extreme. It's not usually quite as black and white as that. Everything you see is slightly different. You don't have to go far in the material wood. Everybody knows this. At least theoretically. They don't follow it, but theoretically know. You have to learn to understand how to see things from other people's point of view as well. Not everything, but in your understanding that other people do have a different point of view. Mine's right, mine's wrong. We tend to see ourselves in the center. This is the nature of when we're disconnected from Krishna. We see ourselves in the center. Mindri. The devotee sees Krishna in the center, so he sees how Krishna's energies, the different modes of nature are working on people in different ways. And everyone sees differently. So, but a pure devotee sees beyond these conditional. And you notice that people's perception of things changes quite easily sometimes. They change their opinions, they change even their religions, they change of course ultimately they change their body. And change is always taking place. It's not a fixed perception, it's a relative one. The pure devotee sees the absolute perception of the absolute situation beyond that. So he may act within the conditioned situation, but he's actually perceiving beyond that, or understanding beyond that. But for the sake of people, that's why with the Bhagavad Gita we see so much duality in a sense in Krishna's instruction, material, spiritual, happiness, distress. It talks in terms of, from the absolute platform, these dualities don't exist. Everything's spiritual, everything's pure, beyond time measurement. But for those who are under time, then these dualities are there. So the pure devotee works within, you could say, it works within the framework of time, works within the framework of duality, because everyone's seeing it like that. Like a parent trying to educate their child who cannot understand anything. So you're going to have to say, how many cows are there? 3, well done. How many cows are there? 2. How many cows altogether? 3 there and 2 there. How many now? 5. They give a very sort of like graphic, relative, try to help the child to understand whatever topic it is. Simplicity. So for the sake of conditioned souls who are seeing in duality, pure devotees try to help to improve, or help them to progress, even within the duality, at least to more goodness, and eventually transcendence. by acting in relationships. Not necessarily, we don't necessarily see things, but at least the process of devotional service is a process which is, we're not on the level of Prahlad Maharaj. Because like pure bhakti we hear that, we will only think of others' welfare. They will be calm, people will be calm. Starting with ourselves, the previous verses, so we become calm, we start to see things in relation with Krishna rather than relative. So the process of transformation is there, the perceptions, in the form of doing activities under the direction of the pure devotee of the Lord. Sees like that. He engages us in various ways, which gradually help to evoke the Lord's mercy, of course, but to also purify our hearts and start to see things, at least theoretically, according to Guru Shastra and Sadhu. At least that much we can try. We'll finish the purport. According to Chanaka Pandit, there are two kinds of envious living entities. One is a snake, the other is the man like Hiranyakashipu, who is by nature envious of everyone, even if it is father or son. Some people are just envious of it, unless the person completely follows them. Then they either hate them or they have nothing to do with them or something like that. They're envious of them. They only accept people who completely, there's like Kamsa or something. He only accepts people who completely surrender to him, follow him. Everyone else is inimical. Common thing in this world, some people, is they call it sociopath and what's the other one? Psychopathic persons. They may not like it, but they have this tendency to see like that. Themselves strong in the center. If someone doesn't agree with it, then they're like the enemy and they can become outraged. Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu was envious of his little son Prahlad, but Prahlad Maharaj asked a benediction for the benefit of his father. Hiranyakashipu was very envious of devotees, but Prahlad wished that his father and other demons like him would give up their envious nature by the grace of the Lord and stop harassing the devotees. It's kind of interesting that such persons, they make alliances but with others sometimes. But their alliances with others are very motivated. And if the other party doesn't fulfill their motivation, then they become arch enemies very quickly. In person to person, nation to nation. Politics, they become arch enemies overnight sometimes. Although before yesterday they were voting together for something. Because it's all superficial, it's all based on this falsity, seeing oneself in the center. And everyone else is supposed to be, everything in the world and everybody in the world is supposed to be serving me, basically. Directly or subtly, one way or another. Should be in line with what I want. People are caught in this trap. Kala prasidatam, become free of envy. Envious person. The difficulty is that the kala, envious entity, is rarely pacified. One kind of kala, the snake, can be pacified simply by mantra or by action of a particular herb, mantra shuddhi, vashak, sarpa, kala, kena, nivaryate. An envious person, however, cannot be pacified by any means. Nothing. You completely bow down at his feet. Please kick my head to my full satisfaction. And keep on kicking it as long as you like. Or anything else. I belong to you. Do you want to eat me? Fine, go ahead. It's still not satisfied, by the way, but at least to some degree. They find fault no matter what you do. You see this sometimes. You find, okay, well, I agree with you. Then they get on your case for that.
Mm-hmm.
Never satisfied. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays that all envious persons may undergo a change of heart and think of the welfare of others. Think of the welfare of others. Get rid of them if they don't agree with me. I mean, this is in religiosity has been a common feature throughout history. Pretty much every area of the world. Pretty much. Get rid of them. When the British went to America, just get rid of them. They got rid of it. I don't know, there's no official figure, but I've heard figures of up to 80 million Red Indians were killed by the British. Just to get rid of them. In South America, even more. Conquests in South America. Just get rid of them. They're in our way. And now, it's like we think this is our country. Another illusion. If the Krishna consciousness movement spreads all over the world, and if by the grace of Krishna everyone accepts it, interesting, the grace of Krishna, the thing of envious people will change. Everyone will think of the welfare of others. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays, Shivam Mito Vyam. In material activities, everyone is envious of others. But in Krishna consciousness, no one is envious of anyone. Everyone thinks of the welfare of others. That's in Krishna consciousness. So we can measure a little bit our stage of consciousness. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj prays that everyone's mind may become gentle by being fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna, as indicated elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam Savaimat Krishna Padala Vindeo, and as advised by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Man Mana Bhavamad Bhakta. One should constantly think of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So here's, you could say, a most significant statement in relationship to changing of their perception of others and the world around us is how it works. One thing is the activity of working under the direction of the pure devotee of the Lord. And that's like a foundation. The purpose of that is that we think of Krishna. Thinking of Krishna, because every thinking of the lotus feet of Krishna automatically purifies our vision and perception. And that's what this movement, in one sense, you could say, from a practical perspective, that's what this movement's for. To create an environment where it's favorable for us to remember Krishna, because simply by remembering Krishna, the heart becomes purified. Then one's mind will certainly be cleansed, Cetodarpana Marjana. Materialists always think of sense gratification. But Prahlad Maharaj prays that the Lord's mercy will change their minds, and they will stop thinking of sense gratification. Well, what do they think of? That's all there is, isn't it? There's nothing else to think of. You've got to satisfy my senses. That's what life's for, isn't it? Is that right? I guess most people think like that. Subtle or gross sense gratification. Mostly everything we do is focused on that idea. But the body is not thinking of their own sense gratification, they're thinking of Krishna's sense gratification. It's totally different. It looks the same. In the Bhagavatam, and there's night for the introspective sages, daytime for the materialists, and so on. The activity may look the same, but the actual consciousness is extremely different. The purpose behind it is completely different. We're not going out on the street to distribute books to make money for ourselves, are we? I hope not. Are we? I hope not. Maybe we are, I don't know. We're trying to make some check to see what's going on, but we haven't quite got that deep yet. Don't worry, we'll get there after a few more days. We'll be fixing unknown to you cameras on your body when you go out now. Invisible cameras, right, Chantal? Have you got them? Did you get them yesterday?
Yeah.
And they're going to be
We've already
recording
planted them.
everything you do out there, where you put those 10-cent coins. It's all recorded. And then it also counts as the money comes in. And then we'll count every cent when it's handed in to, like in the evening to Chantal. Make sure there's not 1 cent missing. Right? It's very heavy, right? First thing you said when he came here. Anyway, Krishna, the point is that's already there. Krishna is watching. He watches everything. If we put 1 cent aside for ourselves, he notices it. It's called sense gratification. Of course, there's times we have to spend money for obvious reasons, not for hidden reasons. Nothing can be hidden from Krishna. We can hide it from each other. We can't hide it from Krishna. He's watching. He's the witness. No one else is really. Finish a little bit more book here. Materialists always think of you. If they think of Krishna, always, everything will be all right. I guess we fall into the category of materialists also. We're not always thinking of Krishna. Mixture. We're not Nishkama Bhaktas. Some people argue that if everyone thought of Krishna that way, the whole universe would be vacated because everyone would go back home, back to Godhead. Nice idea. However, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that this is impossible because the living entities are innumerable. If one set of living entities is actually delivered by the Krishna conscious movement, another set will fill the entire universe. Don't worry, they're just waiting to move in. Getting ready to move in. It's a unique field. I mean, we could talk for hours on this, but it's a unique scenario. We have an example of Vasudeva Datta, for instance, who is also a Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad is probably an expansion of Vasudeva Datta. We usually see it the other way from our perspective. But on the absolute plane, the position of Vasudeva Datta, who is in Gaur Leela, is in one sense more internal than the Prahlad Maharaj in relationship with Lord Srinivas. But it's the same expansion. Personal expansion of the Lord. When the Lord expands in various forms, his eternal associates, Parsha, may also expand according to that particular expansion. So, no, I don't say that, I'm saying it anyway. Vasudeva Datta in Gaur Leela is Prahlad Maharaj in Sringa Leela. Same person. They're acting differently. The mood has a lot of similarities, but there are differences also. The same in the Shakti Tattva, the internal associates of the Lord. They're not Jiva Tattva. They may act like Jiva Tattva, but they're not. They're eternally situated. Same Vijaya also. They're not form souls, expanding according to the need. Sometimes they expand into the material partial expansions into this world. Play certain roles to teach how the jivas can become Krishna conscious. But in their eternal relationship with the Lord, they have no element of apparent, other than pure devotion to the Lord. Sometimes they appear like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, even their own Guru Maharaj and Prabhupada, to be conditioned souls, but they're actually playing a role to help conditioned souls to wake up. Expansion of eternal associates of the Lord. So Vasudeva Datta also pray like that. May all the living entities in the universe be delivered. And may I stay here and suffer the reactions for everyone. His prayers like that. Obviously can't imitate that. Say it, but we don't really mean it. Prabhupada also had this type of prayer in Bombay, no, in Vrindavan. One time one pandit from South India, he saw that in 1975, there was a murti of Srila Prabhupada on the altar. That's never done in a physical presence of the Guru. It means everyone who comes in front of that murti, and that, the original personality from the murti, they have to take reactions of that person who looks at that murti. And he said, Swamiji, maybe you don't know this, but this is a very dangerous thing to do. You're going to have to take sinful reactions of countless people who come and stand in front of your murti on the altar in Vrindavan. Maybe you don't know this. And Father said, I know this very well. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm rather doing that. We're willing to take those sinful reactions to help people in here. He knew very well. It wasn't because of ignorance, it was because of compassion. That's the nature of the person. We must sedate that. That's the nature. We don't have that nature. We want to dump it on someone else all the time. Jealousy. Spirituals don't. They're only thinking of the welfare of other living entities. Ultimately of Krishna. This world of other living entities. Willing to suffer on behalf of others. And the idea then, even if all the living entities are the same things mentioned here, go back to Godhead. You may not even notice, we hear that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered all the living entities. Sometimes it's said, in the universe. Very bold. And we go, oh gee, I heard you're going today, is that right? Don't, you can stay. You're welcome, don't go. Are you going to stay or are you going? What are you doing?
Yes, Maharaj.
I'm going.
I'm going, Maharaj, now.
You're going now. Where are you going?
Going to Zurich, Maharaj.
Going where? To where?
Zurich.
Jail?
Zurich.
So she's going to jail. Oh, Zurich. You want to check your bank account in Zurich, are you? Going to check your bank account. Everyone has, all the big devotees must have a bank account in Zurich, is that right? Zurich. What are you going to do in Zurich?
And
What are you doing in Zurich?
just going for visiting.
Sightseeing, is it?
Yeah.
Why are you going to Zurich?
And
Why are you going there?
I'm going for having darshan of the deities and meeting the devotees.
Nice. There are lots of Indian devotees there.
Yeah.
A big Tamil community. You love it there. You been before?
No,
Never
Maharaj,
been.
first time.
Yeah, you will like it there. It's beautiful. You might see snow. You've ever seen snow?
Yeah,
No?
Maharaj, in India we have some areas where we have
In the mountains.
mountains,
Himalaya- Himalayas.
Kashmir and
Yeah, we may see it on the streets in Zurich. Let's get back to the topic at hand. It is incredible. We can't notice that. Just imagine in this room, there's like 12 of us maybe. Now, if suddenly all of us, using relative terms here, went back to Godhead. Just following this train of thought. Other living entities will occupy your body. Just say. So going back to Godhead is not just death of a body. We think the body, we're still thinking the body is going back to God. It's not like that. This is just a car that we're in, the vehicle. So, you sell your car to someone else. It's no longer your car. That person identifies with the car. Now, if every one of us changed on the spot like that, nobody would know anything happened. Because the new residents would all be new residents, and they would just see each other according to their particular karmas. They wouldn't see that, oh, where's he going? what happened to their hurt? You understand? It'd be like a complete new set. Would see as if they would know. But that doesn't happen like that normally. But that would be the situation. That's what Lord mentioned here. Another set. And they would have no identity with the previous set at all. None. But that doesn't normally happen like that. Obviously, karma doesn't work like that. It could, but it doesn't. But that's the principle. So you wouldn't know. And that goes on. I mean, we don't know what happened. We don't know how we got here. Why I'm the way I am. We say, oh, it's karma. But we don't really know what karma, what evolved. It's a very complex subject matter. And it's not really the soul, it's just the various forms that we're identifying or we're stuck in that have evolved or been, let's say, we find ourselves in those situations according to our karma. But the whole process is not just to kind of change the karma, but it's to see ourselves beyond all of this, to see ourselves in a spiritual perspective. Anyway, just read the last line and let us do it. If one set of living entities is actually delivered by the Krishna consciousness movement, another set will fill the entire universe. Another set. And of course it may not be like that, but in the middle of your life suddenly you're delivered and at the end of life normally these things go on. The universe will be filled up again by another set of living. Probably gives the example of a prison house. You give everyone freedom, let all the prisoners out. But that's not the end of the prison. Don't worry. It'll be filled up pretty quick. There's a lot of souls waiting to go in there to get their free board and money. No work, free board and money. The nature of this material world. There's countless, as Prabhupada mentioned, there are innumerable living entities in different stages, in innumerable universes, in different stages of evolvement, dormant living entities, yet to become, active. They're all in line. Don't worry. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Well, it's terrible. There'll be nobody left in this world to, in the factories. What will happen? Don't worry. There'll be plenty of people there. Even if you all go back to God, there's no worries. Don't worry. We'll carry on. Another time, Prabhupada said, "Oh yes, you've understood. That is our business, to bring it to an end." Different types of pralaya or destruction. When we have no more of this fourth identity, no more of this ugly body, becomes cleansed away with the process of the division. Well, it's 8:33, and it's time to finish there. It's Saturday today, I believe, and maybe there's Mahaharinam, I don't know. Probably. They are. But Krishna willing, we'll try to go out on Sankirtan today and if we can just do 1 or 2 magazines, 1 or 2 books, some form or another, to give some living entities at least like a beginning in their journey or their evolvement, awakening to their actual identity, relationship with Krishna. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Safe journey to Zurich. How are you going?
By train.
Train, it's nice train. Nice journey by train. Zurich. You have the visa. Okay? We ready?
Cameras are ready.
Huh?
Individual cameras.
Yeah, we're still working on few fine tunings to do this morning. No, we have your mobile phone tells everything. It's actually a fact. The mobile phone tells everything. You can't speak. In 1984, they had one book by George Orwell called 1984. Big Brother is Watching. It really is. I mean, mobile phone is
last Rasa Parayana because he's ahead. He already put some cameras in the temple and he's looking from his phone.
I see, so he's really working on us, so be careful what you say and do around here. Oh my God.
Big brother.
I surrender. Please forgive me for all my offenses. I'm your eternal servant. Not to bow down. Bow down. We have cameras here, man. It's not very, it's meant to be out of reach. That would be easily reachable. I thought you have to have them out of reach so that nobody can grab it. Anyway, it's filming the deities, is what it's doing. Is live filming of the deities. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
When you go back to India,
I'm going back on 5th
5th of December.
Yes, madam.
Oh, very soon. You're going to go in Vrindavan for Loknath Maharaj's 50th sannyasa?
Yeah, yes, just next day.
Are you going there?
Yeah.
Oh, see you then. Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for your efforts to please Prabhupada, assist him in his compassionate mission, try to help others. We're going to read next time we give class some other related topics to this. For Lord Maharaj praying, the welfare of all living entities, may they become pacified and practicing devotional service. They will become calm. Think only of the welfare of others, not of their own welfare. The previous verse has got the tendency to think of our own welfare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You've got prasadam waiting. How are you going to the station?
I'll wait.
Train.
Train?
Metro.
Someone going with him? Christopher, you're going to go part of the station?
Yeah, we just go to Garchassel, from Garchassel straight to the Gardeline. On the
If you're going to
RERT.
park your car at Garchassel, or you're going by bus?
Well, I think so, if someone can drop us there, because it's not sure that there is space.
You can rarely find a parking place there sometimes. It's very difficult. And it's a little dangerous too sometimes. You never know
That's why I
what the
prefer
car will
someone-
look like when you come back.
That's why I would like someone drop us.
Maybe you can go to H also.
You see, there's a class, but you say during the class, if someone go back to God, living entity directly enter in his body, but I was thinking we
Not
can
necessarily.
go back to God after when we leave the body.
Yeah, that's the normal system. But
It's
I was
possible.
given that as an example, that even if Lord Chaitanya immediately could, I mean, that's not how it works, but even if all the living entities were delivered right now in their present situation, actually left the universe, they don't usually leave the universe, they stay in their body till the end of the body.
Really?
So I'm just giving an example, nobody would know. Nobody would know.
But it's possible.
Anything's possible to you, Lord. That's not usually the case. But some has identical karma. That's not like every living entity. It only happened on the transcendental plane. When Krishna did, when he expanded himself, for instance, the cows and cowherd boys, nobody knew anything had happened. But that's not unusual.